Hey, it's Nika from Fabulously Creative. It is almost December, and that means Christmas planners or holiday planners if you don't do Christmas. So, in this video, I will be showing you how to make a DIY shaker cover for the Mini Happy Planner. And I am using the printables from this month's digital kit in my shop. And I'm showing you the other four covers. And this is the one that I will be using, and I've kind of already cut it down to the shape that I want. And I'm going to be backing it on this paper. This is from the Jen Hatfield Stardust collection. And this is also the paper that I will be using for my December daily. So I kind of wanted my planner and my December daily to kind of match. And I really love this paper. It has little stars on the background. And I am using an old Happy Planner cover just to kind of eyeball eyeball the size that I want. And I am going to cut mine a tiny bit smaller than this Happy Planner. So I'm not using any measurements. I'm just kind of eyeballing it compared to the size of the other one. So the actual, like the backing will be a little smaller because I want like the clear edge to hang over a little more. So the finished size will be the same, but my actual paper will be a little smaller. And I'm just cutting this down. I actually cut it down like a few times, just eyeballing it just to get the size that I want. And I kind of snagged my paper, so I had to cut another little piece off the top. And let's just not pay attention to the burn on my hand. I think I did that cooking for Thanksgiving. I don't know. I always manage to get some kind of burn on my hand. If that bothers you, I will put a piece of washi tape on it for the next video. So I am just I'm gluing my little graphic page, my little, I don't know, my printable to that backing, and I'm making sure I'm adding some extra glue tape right on the bottom to make sure no sequins kind of seep up under there. And I am putting it a little off center. I want to move it kind of closer to the left hand edge because I want it to be further away from the side that you will punch. All right, and this is what I will be using to make the cover. These are self-sealing laminating pouches, and I just discovered these a few months ago, and I am in love with these. I have been using them for everything. To me, they turn out so much better than using like scrapbook page protectors or the trading card page protectors. They work out so much better, and you don't need any tools, because with those you need like either a fuse tool or some type of way to seal your pocket. And I did cut, since this won't take a whole sheet, I did cut the self-laminating sheet. I cut it in half so I can reuse the other side. And right now I'm just still eyeballing it using that old planner cover to make sure everything fits. Now the way this works, there is like a clear layer on top, and then the bottom is the sticky part. And I think I'm trying to make sure everything is flat before I pull it off. So the bottom is the sticky part. So you just basically lay your, whatever you're using, you lay it on that sticky part as I'm doing now. And you make sure everything is flat before you stick it down. And then once it's stuck down, you can add your sequins, glitter, or whatever. So I am about to dive into my little stash, and I'm wanting to use those expandable rings, and I was just seeing which sequence matched those. And this part is always so exciting. I love sequins, glitter. And yes, I did get a little carried away with the sequence, but I don't know. I think I got excited. It was just so pretty and sparkly and shiny. So after I add those, I'd go to the smaller sequence. And I think I think that's the silver ones. And that is not actually sequence, or it's not listed as sequence. I got those on Amazon and it is called Chunky Glitter, but it's actually to me it's sequence. So after I got carried away, put way too much on there. So what you want to do is kind of spread it out to get an even layer, and I'm spreading it more to the right because I don't want it on that left side where it will be punched. And I'm going to slide that other cover right underneath because I'm kind of eyeballing where the punch marks are. And now I am just gluing, like I'm gluing the whole thing down to my desk just so the sequence don't pop all over for the next for this next step. So, and I'm going to put a piece of double-sided tape on, kind of like on the left edge. And this is what stops the sequence from falling out when you punch your cover. Because I made one of these previously and I did not do this step. So once I punched it, every time it shook, little pieces fell out. So this will stop anything from falling out. And I'm just using a bone folder, just pressing that in. And that is why I taped it to my desk, because when I pulled that off, the sequence would have popped everywhere. And now I am just flattening everything out. And you want to be careful not to get any sequence on the sticky part. So once everything is flattened out the way you like, all you do is press the top down. And you want to make sure you have like a clear seal around the edges. And I think this is why I enjoy using this. Sometimes when you laminate things, you get that little bubble. And sometimes you can laminate it again. I don't know, once that bubble is there, it's just kind of hard. So I like this because you can press the bubbles out. So that is what I'm doing. I started off with a bone folder, and then I think I get like a gift card or something to press it out even more. Yeah, I am just pressing all the edges in, and this really helps get rid of that bubble around the edge. And I'm doing it a little extra since I do have like a layer of cardstock, a paper, then the sequins on top. And even with all that bulk, like by pressing it in, you can manage to get no bubble around the edge. So this is how it looks so far. And at this point, I did have to resist shaking it. So I'm going to use this old cover and I'm just going to tape it to the back of it. And that way I'm going to trim it around the edge exactly with the other one, even though my little insert is a little smaller. And I was trying to do this one-handed. I was having a little trouble because I want to look at it from the front, but the tape goes on the back. And I'm just adding tape all around before I cut it because it does slide around a lot while you're cutting it. And as I cut through the washi, for some parts I do stop and add another piece of washi just so it doesn't slide around. And I think I'm off camera a bit for this part because I was really trying to look close. It's also hard to see since both pieces are clear, so you really have to pay attention to where the edge is. So I think I'm going to be out of frame for like for the rest of this, but all I'm doing is cutting around and using the old cover as a guide. And I did have to go back and trim the corners just a little. It was kind of hard to cut those corners. And you can't see, it looks like the old one is a little bigger. You can't see it, but it is exactly the same size. And at this part, yes, you can shake it. I did stop and shake it for a few seconds. Now I am using just a planner sheet. I'm using the planner sheet and the cover as a guide so I can punch the holes. So once I kind of have it where I want it, I'm just going to tape the paper to it. And I will be using just a regular hole puncher. Please do not punch this with your happy planner punch. It will get jammed and this whole thing will get stuck. It will get stuck in your punch. It is kind of tough to punch it with a single hole punch, but a little muscle you can get it done. That's why I'm squeezing my hand. I don't know, maybe in my mind it feels like it gives it a little extra muscle. I don't know. And I take the paper instead of the old cover because those 2 layers of plastic will also jam the single hole punch. So once I have the holes punched, I am just going and making all the little slits. All right, and we are done. So at this point, I shook it a little, and you'll see me, I kept plucking it, trying to get the sequence to settle to the bottom or move around. But the little circle, I don't know what to call them. They're not sequin, the little iridescent ones, they kind of stuck to the top layer and would not move. So, but I still wanted to show you this video. So you can know all of the steps that I did. I'm zooming in a little closer and you can see like the ones that just would not move. They are just stuck in. I couldn't really see the picture underneath. So I did make another one. This is the final one. And I used way less sequins and I didn't use those little iridescent ones. And you can see everything shakes around. So but I used all the same steps, so I still wanted to upload this video. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and stay tuned as I set up my happy planner for the month of December. If you have any questions, leave me a comment and I'll answer anything.